on the campus of IMG Academy in Sarasota, Florida. This is Cavs Training Camp Nightly, presented by KeyBank, as we are back for day number 2. Hi everyone, John, Michael, and Serena Winters. So wonderful to be back with you once again. Well, head coach Kenny Atkinson said the start of training camp is always easier when guys are in town well before the preseason begins. That was the case this year and day 1 yesterday. Maybe what you'd expect, easy transition, not many X's and O's, guys just out there getting the blood pumping.
I mean, it was clear that Kenny Atkinson already had a year under his belt with this group at camp yesterday, right? You said easy, there was just an ease to camp yesterday. And look, and talking with the newer guys yesterday, I loved what Thomas Bryant said about how nobody had to get motivated for camp, right? Love what Lonzo Ball said about just Kenny Atkinson and wanting to fit into this system. Going to be another great day too here.
Speaking of Kenny, we are going to catch up with the reigning NBA Coach of the Year about his summer. He finally had a chance to unwind. We saw Lonzo Ball on the show yesterday, caught up with him as well as Thomas Bryant, another new but not that new face, a guy who needs no introduction around here. It is Larry Nance, part of one of the Cavs' royal families. We caught up with him over the last couple of days. He'll be on the show as well, and it was almost as if he never left.
I mean, when you say new face, I don't even think of Larry Nance Jr. as a new face to this organization, right? It was fun talking with him about Darius Garland. It's just like, this was a guy that was there when he was a rookie, and so it just feels like he never left. But at the same time, he's got a difference to him now, right? He is older, he is wiser, and he is looking to bring some additions to this locker room.
Different feel, I think it is, as Larry joins this particular lineup. All right, on the other side, head coach Kenny Atkinson is right here on Cavs Training Camp Nightly. Cavs Training Camp Nightly is presented by KeyBank. For every financial need, KeyBank will meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. Well, we have a very special guest joining us, the reigning NBA Coach of the Year. It is Kenny Atkinson. Kenny, always great to see you. Let me venture a guess that this summer was a little more relaxing than the summer before.
Yeah. And that was very intentional. You know, my wife said, hey, you know, what about Italy, or let's go to Spain? I was like, not this summer. We're not. I just wanted to limit my travel, spend a lot of time with my kids and wife, and that's what I did. I spent a ton of time on the beach. And then, you know, obviously Cavs business and all that we do, but I wanted to conserve my energy, you know, because for this big season coming up.
After what, of course, was a whirlwind when you were over in Paris and hired the summer before. You mentioned that Cavs business. I mean, so much of what you're all about is relationship building. Can you take us through what goes into that as you get out and visit the players and really let them know that you have their back in terms of getting together with them during the off season?
Yeah, but Jay, I think first it was I got to get to know this organization better, right? And kind of got to the job late last year and just kind of had to go, and which was fine. But I felt like I needed to get to know the front office better, build my relationship with Kobe and Mike and B. Weems, and get to know our performance staff better. So that was really a point of emphasis. And then the second thing was getting to know, building my relationship with the players, which involved some travel, which was fine. And then we had our young guys in the gym pretty much all summer, so built that. And then the last part of this is like our players, they work with people outside of the Cavs organization, right? And they have their kind of pods they work with. And my push to the coach is like, we have to get to know the people they work with better. They're strength people, they're workout people, so with that was a really point of emphasis for me and our assistants to kind of translate our message to them, what we're looking to help improve with each player, and I think mission accomplished.
You mentioned those relationships. I know that one of the important ones for you was DeAndre Hunter, right? He came in here and it was tough for you to build that mid-season, or rather almost 3/4 of the way through this season. I know you got to spend some time with him this summer. What can you tell us about that, but also with how multifaceted his skill set is, maybe some other areas you might utilize him in this year? A little sneak peek behind the scenes.
I feel really good about that. And it was, it's time spent, right? Relationship, and just through the trade and everything we had going on, I just didn't spend enough time. So I just wanted to spend time with him. And like any relationship, the more I got to know him, the more he opened up. Wasn't anything to do with basketball at first, just the connection, and then as we got to know each other better, I was just getting basketball feedback. Hey, I like this set. Maybe we can do this. I like this is a lineup I think I could be really good with, and just stuff like that, and it just came out. So really excited. He's been arguably our best player in the off season, open gym in September, and he's continued it through these first 2 days of training camp.
By the way, he called you an introverted extrovert.
He is exactly right. So we're both on this. I think we're both like that, right?
And he said you were sending film sometimes too at 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. Is that you like to send film midnight, 1 a.m.?
Or I'll send it really early in the morning. And that was part of it. Like I'd send clips. Hey, what do you think of this? You like the ball here? There's stuff from my past, from Golden State. I thought, man, this could really fit him. I'm excited. Great guy. Listen, we really wanted to make that move at the deadline. Like we needed to add a big wing with his the size, but also the shooting, the skill level, and the defense. And we Kobe, those guys hit a home run.
Ken, you had a storybook start to your Cavs career. You win your first 15. You've now had a chance to reflect back on the regular season 82, also on the postseason as well. What were your biggest takeaways and things that you're now going to incorporate here into year number 2?
Yeah, I think I said this at my kind of end of season summary, but we got better. We got better. We got better as a team. I felt like we got better individually. But then, you take the hit of losing in the playoffs. So all that emotion that comes with that, and really, it was tough, right? Tough emotionally, and then you go through that therapeutic kind of cleansing where you have to build to like, okay, let's see how we can tweak this thing, how we can become better. So that was a task of the off season, and some of it's tactics, right? That I think we can improve on. Some of it is, how can we be better physically, right? Of course, the big one, and I know some of it's not controllable, but how can we stay healthy and be a more durable team when money time comes?
Can you share anything tactically? I know we've seen these guys. It's only been 2 days, but we've seen pushing the pace, trying to get scoring looks earlier in the clock.
So we're the number one most efficient transition team in the league last year, but how can we do it more? If you're really good at something, we should probably do it more. So we've made a couple of kind of adjustments to see how we can get to that scoring zone, we call it. If you see those green lines out there, I don't know if you guys that's kind of the scoring zone. It's 35 feet from the basket, and we put we want to get there in 4 seconds, and we play games with the guys. If you don't get there in 4 seconds, it's -1. If you do get there in 4 seconds, it's +2, and that's kind of how we have fun with trying to emphasize what we want to do. Defensively, I think we got to create more turnovers. We got to be a little more front-footed, right? A little more take a little more of an aggressive stance with our defense, and we've definitely shifted. It's the on-ball ball pressure, but it's also being higher in the gaps in our shell. Instead of maybe more conservative is dropped in the gap. So I think you'll see that. So those are just some of the things we've been working on these first couple of days.
Hey, Lonzo joined us yesterday and talked about how much he loves the style of play and the system. As you've gotten to know him, what can you tell us about how you intend to use him this year?
It's so important, right? Where the front office connects with coaching, and it all kind of, I think Kobe's got a great understanding of how we want to play, what our identity is. So you have to know the players on kind of on the market and always be aware, hey, this person could be a great system fit. And Lonzo was like, whatever, he probably checked, just 10 out of 10 boxes, right? You're just down the line. And then, and Larry secondarily, and then TB, Thomas Bryant also. All three of those guys fit. But Zoe made a couple passes today. You're just, he's 6'6". Like, it's like having a 6'6" quarterback. It just, it changes things. He's going to make us, he's going to make our bigs better. That's what I'm excited. I mean, J.A.'s already has the best field goal percentage in the league. He's going to make him better. Evan just told me he's going to make his life easier. And then, Zoe has shown his defensive chops, steals, physicality, anticipation, all the things great defenders have.
You mentioned the young guys. A guy who's only 24 but doesn't really even feel like a young guy anymore is Evan Mobley. And the other day you said that you're sensing an interesting kind of confidence. You said you can't quite put your finger on that. Can you elaborate on what has led you to believe that and what you expect coming up here for Ev?
Mike, remember in college when you were, like going into your senior year and you just kind of like, you felt that like you were just a much more confident, you're a little stronger, a little smarter, and I feel like it's like he's like, he kind of realizing he's big man on campus, right? And he's got kind of that jock jaunt, like that strut, right? Like you just, okay, that dude is 24 years old, already Defensive Player of the Year, was his second team All-NBA, All-Star. Like what without saying it, I think we know, man, listen, I want to win an NBA championship, but part of this too is like, man, I want to see him like take another jump. Like that's part of my like excitement when I wake up in the morning. I thought we really gave him some great kind of points on what we wanted to see him get better at this summer. Obviously the physical part and D-Mill, and all those guys getting him stronger, helping him to get stronger, and he's got it. And then mentally, right? Like you can see, like he's he's a Rubik's Cube king, right? Like I just read that yesterday.
Expert.
So he's an expert. We did an exercise last night in film. It was I just put two numbers up, and he was one that kind of got it. Like he's sneaky smart.
Hey, we could chat with you all day, but in the corner of my eye, we've got Larry Nance Jr. coming up.
Oh, come on.
You got anything for him that we should make sure we get to?
What's Larry's thing? Just tell him to shoot it when he's open. That's it.
We'll
if he's not,
We'll
he's
let
got
him know.
10 push.
As soon as he comes to sit
10
down.
push-ups every
Yes.
time he doesn't shoot it when he's open.
Kenny,
All
it's
right.
always,
You guys are great.
Always
love,
so great,
love
Kenny.
hanging out with you.
We talk to you all day.
Yes.
Have another great
Awesome.
season,
See
Kenny.
ya. All right.
More right after this. Hey, back here on Cavs Training Camp Nightly, and we are joined by a familiar face. Here he is, Larry Nance Jr. Good to see you, my friend.
Oh, man, it's been too long, hasn't it?
It's been way too long.
It's been too long.
Welcome home. One of the best things about having Larry back is now in person, he can hear Doherty snipe at his dad, and back and forth they go. We can confirm that pretty much every chance he gets, he goes at your dad. Does Brad?
That's a sentiment we share.
Yeah.
That's a sentiment we share. Every time I can take a shot at the old man, I'm going to.
Yeah.
But it's vice versa, though.
This
It's
is
vice
true.
versa,
This
yeah.
is true.
It's
He
all
hasn't
fair
held
game.
back.
It's
Right.
all
He
fair
hasn't
game in
held
Nance
back.
house. Yeah.
Was there somewhere in the back of your mind that you'd be back in Cleveland someday?
That was it's hard to say. It's hard to say, like, it was always going to come to fruition because you never know. Again, you never know where the team's at, who the GM is, how, where you sit in terms of me as a player. But it was always something I wanted to do. I didn't expect it to come this early, but I'm really excited that it's with this team and I got the opportunity so early. So this is a team that looks a little different than the last time I left, and I'm really excited about it.
All right, so you've played with Darius, obviously. You've played with Dean. You've played with Lonzo. You've played with Thomas Bryant. I mean, the list goes on. Is there anybody that you haven't gotten to play with on this team that you are really excited to gel with?
Honestly, I'm really excited to play with Sam and Max.
Okay.
Those are the two that like I think we're going to form some really good chemistry together. You know, obviously they're terrific cutters, and one thing I have is a knack for passing the ball. So with their gravity off the ball and my vision, I think it's going to be a really good pairing.
You said you've got a knack for passing the ball, but we just talked to your new head coach, Kenny Atkinson, and I said, hey, Larry's sitting over there. He's coming up next. What should we say to him? And he said, just make sure he shoots the ball. He said, you got to shoot the ball. That's
Did you know he was going to say that? You might have heard that once or twice.
Yeah. No, it's. Look, I've had an awesome summer. I've had a really good 2 years in terms of shooting the ball, and volume is something that's always stressed. So I gotta keep my percentage is there already. So I just got to keep getting the attempts up and make them know I'm dangerous from out there.
Serena mentioned you were with Lonzo in L.A. You know DeAndre from your time in Atlanta. Can you tell us a little bit about some of those? We got to know DeAndre a little bit last year, but boy, it was a frenzy. He was picked up at the trade deadline, and off we went. About Lonzo and DeAndre that we might not know, or that you're excited to be back with them once again.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing with Zoe is like, I've been saying this the past few years. When he was out of the game, like the game of basketball is so much better for having Lonzo Ball in it. Like when he's healthy, the game is played the right way. It's a service to the game, really. Like if you're a young kid watching basketball, a point guard, like that's the type of player you should be watching. So like, for me, Zoe is someone I'm thrilled to play with again. I've been a fan of his ever since he got in the league. And Dre, he's just a walking bucket. It's like a magnet. When he shoots, it's just like a magnet to the rim. So I'm really excited to rack up the assists, giving him the ball, and that's, give the ball to Don, give the ball to him. It's an easy job I got.
Day 2 of training camp was quite different from day 1. And look, you guys were out there scrimmaging, so throwing the football around, having a good time. What can you tell those watching about training camp here in day 2?
Well, see, you described it as fun.
For me, it was.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I was on the sidelines watching you guys.
You brought up the football, and you're like, oh, yeah, we scrimmaged a little bit. We did a cardio circuit, and we did lots of conditioning. We did some 3-on-3 games. Today was training camp. Yeah. It was what training camp is supposed to be, and what we all know and love. So
fun.
Today officially is the end of summer. Like yesterday was an ease into it, but today summer ended today.
So it's your perspective so interesting, right? I mean, you were here before. Now it's Kenny Atkinson and crew. In terms of points of emphasis in camp, where would you start with what they are expecting, what they want heading into this season from you guys?
I would say first thing first, communication. Mm-hmm. They want us to be loud. They want when the gym's quiet, that's a bad gym. So they want to hear not just Jarrett and Evan being the backline anchors, but even our guards talking. Defensively, offensively. Just the more you communicate, the harder it is to mess up. But 2, I think it's defensively, it's just a level of pressure. He really wants to amp up the pressure a little bit, whether it's picking up full court, whether it's just pressure in the half court. Doing a lot of really, really heating guys up on the ball. So I would say that those are the 2 that really stand out.
A lot of talk with Evan every year about this team also goes how he goes, and there's a confidence. And look, Evan's always been a confident guy, but even Donovan said like there's something about him this year where it's almost like he understands even better what this team needs of him. From your perspective, what are you seeing?
I'm just seeing someone that I'm glad I don't have to guard anymore. He's such a unicorn of a player, right? So like, you have in mind like his jump's going to look like this, or when he starts being more aggressive offensively, he's going to look like this, and with a player like him, there's no way of pinpointing one specific way what it's going to look like because he's so unique. So he's done a really good job of scoring at all 3 levels, and I think that to me is the piece of the jump that I've kind of seen is like he's scoring at 3, he's scoring off the bounce in the mid range, and obviously anything around the rim, he's we know what that is. So it's been really cool to see that step in his game. I'm excited to see more.
When you were acquired by the Cavs the first time, this team was en route to a run to the finals. You get acquired again, and this team once more is one of the elites. Has a chance to compete for a championship. What does that mean to you to come back into a situation like this?
That was the reason. That was the reason I wanted to come back into this situation. Is because I'll say it. It's just a bonus that this is Cleveland and this is home. Like I would have chased this basketball situation in Sacramento, in Seattle, and the farthest parts of the country. but it's a bonus point that it's home. So I'm really excited to have some pressure on us, right? Pressure in this league is a privilege. Not every team feels pressure, so I'm excited to be one of the few.
What did Kenny say the other night? What you guys got here, and he had a little speech to the team, something about how we only have these opportunities so often, right? And you've got a huge opportunity in front of you with so much talent. Let's be all in, right?
Yeah. No, look, this is going into year 11 for me, and I can confidently say this is a team that I'll look back on, say we do or don't, come out on top at the end. But this will be a team that I look back on and go like, dang, that's probably if not the best, but one of the best teams that I've ever gotten to be a part of. So it's a massive opportunity, and that, again, 11 years, it doesn't come around often.
Larry, I know I speak on behalf of a lot of folks. It is wonderful to have you back in the mix.
Thank you.
Once again, let's get after it this year.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys.
All right, our thanks to Larry Nance. We'll be back to wrap things up right after this. Cavs Training Camp Nightly is presented by KeyBank. For every financial need, KeyBank will meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. Back at IMG Academy, that is about a wrap. How terrific were Kenny and Larry, huh?
We couldn't have asked for anything better. On top of that, we got to watch scrimmaging out there today. These guys went hard, and just talking with both Kenny and Larry, I feel like we learned so much.
So much more tomorrow. It's day 3 right here on Cavs Training Camp Nightly on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network.